Hey everyone, welcome to Off Topic with Darren Wilson. My name is Darren and I will be your host. On this episode, I hang out with my friend Mike Roy. Mike is the lead guitarist and one of the founding members of his band Go Casual. We talk about their new album titled All the Old Ghosts and also get to hear some samples of a few of the new songs. Now, the lead singer Michael Larrabee was supposed to join us as well. However, all those prenatal classes are about to be put to use as he is on baby watch and will be a brand new dad real soon. We definitely wish them a quick and easy labor and a happy, healthy baby. Thank you for listening. Enjoy. Hey, Mike, what's up? Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, Darren, thanks so much for having me. Been looking forward to doing this for a while now.
Yeah, what's it been? About a month we've been trying to do this?
Yeah. Busy time with the holidays, but I'm glad we finally got together.
Yes, here we are. So I'm sitting here with Mike Roy, as you may have heard already in the intro. He is pretty much the driving force behind the band Go Casual, his band, and he's the lead guitarist, and he pretty much writes all the music for it.
That has been the case for the past few years, yeah. But the singer and I collaborate for all the songs. He writes all the lyrics and the vocals and the melodies. And then I've been coming up with the guitar and drum ideas. But it's a 50-50 collaboration with him and me at the moment.
Give me a little backstory about the band. Well, first of all, let's start with the name. Where did you guys come up with Go Casual?
Actually, that it's based off of this really cheap Velcro sneaker that we all found years ago in a thrift store. They had a whole bunch of these pairs of Go Casual Velcro shoes, and they were really cool looking, retro kind of 70s, 80s Velcro shoes. And we thought, it really kind of encapsulates the mood that we're going for, Go Casual. So we decided we would go with that.
Another thing I was very curious about is the album artwork.
Oh yeah. We found this amazing painter. His name is Eric Joyner, and he is just fantastic. He has a whole series of paintings with all robots and donuts. Really cool stuff. He's very talented.
It's pretty random at first sight and first glance, but it's pretty cool. You guys have to check it out. It's very creative.
We wanted something eye-catching, and we felt like maybe some kind of surrealistic artwork would be the way to go. And we were very lucky that he let us license one of his fantastic pieces for a decent amount. But he's had some really famous customers. I mean, George Lucas, J.J. Abrams, Chuck Lorre, they've all commissioned artwork from him. And so we're just thrilled to be able to use one of his pieces for our cover.
Well, hopefully your band takes off and you get to commission a piece for yourself.
Oh, I would love that.
That would be pretty cool. Okay, so give me a little bit of backstory about the band. Where did you guys are back east?
Well, we all grew up in Maine, and we went to high school together, started playing together in high school. And at first, it was just kind of for fun, high school band. The first show we ever actually had, the drummer signed us up for the high school talent show without asking the rest of the band. And
awesome.
I was pretty nervous at the time to go, in front of all the other students and parents for the first time ever performing for people. But we did this song that I had written back then called Dead Fish. And it was about slapping someone with a dead fish. And it actually went over really well, and people were singing it in the hallways. And so I think that kind of sparked the thrill of playing and writing our own material.
Nice, you got in people's heads right away.
That's right.
So you are the lead guitarist, pretty much the only guitarist other than the bass player, of which you have done a lot of the bass parts yourself. When did you start playing the guitar, and why? What made you pick up the guitar?
Well, I started playing guitar when I was 13, and I took lessons for a few years. But what really got me interested in guitar initially was watching the movie La Bamba with
Okay.
Richie Valens.
Mm-hmm.
This came out in the 80s, and I just thought it was so cool. And ever since seeing that movie, I had memorized La Bamba, and my parents used to make me sing it for our family when we'd get together with aunts and uncles. And I had this plastic fake guitar. I would just go over and pretend I was Richie Valens playing. But I finally picked up a real one when I was 13, and it's been just so much fun.
What was your first guitar? Do you still have it?
I do. It's an electric Yamaha. It only costs a couple $100, I think. I had that for many years, and then the jack on that one broke, and I finally ponied up enough money to get a Fender Strat, which was something I'd always wanted. Hendrix had played that. He was a big influence of mine, and the guitar instructor that I had was a huge Hendrix fan, so he was teaching me Hendrix song after Hendrix song. Just every lesson I was learning a little bit of a Hendrix tune, and so to finally get a Stratocaster was a big deal.
Yeah, it's a classic guitar. Everybody should have one, even if you don't play. Just buy one and put it on the wall as art.
Oh yeah, they look amazing.
They do. That kind of leads into a good next question: is who were your some of your big influences when you were learning? Hendrix obviously is one.
I'm a huge Beatles fan as well. More about the melody and the harmony, the different rhythms they have. George Harrison is a fantastic guitarist, but I feel like Hendrix was more of an influence in terms of guitar. But in terms of songwriting, I would say the Beatles maybe more so. I like all kinds of music, though. Every different genre has something you can respect and relate to. So there's plenty of great stuff out there. In high school, I was really listening to a lot of oldies in line with Hendrix, and then stuff from the 60s, 70s. Classic rock my dad was into, so I grew up with that. And but as time was going by, some of my friends were into punk rock, and I started getting into that. With the old stuff at first, like Sex Pistols, Ramones, Dead Kennedys, but then bands like Newfound Glory and The Living End, Green Day, Blink-182, those are some big ones. They started to influence me as well, and the rest of the guys in the band wanted to do stuff like that.
Okay, that's kind of where you guys got your style for Go Casual and
Yes. I would say the drummer and the singer are huge fans of Blink-182, and so, it just started out as fun to do something on our spare time. Growing up in Maine, there's not a lot to do, not nearly as much as LA, so you kind of have to make your own fun. So we would go over to the drummer's house and play in his basement, and then we'd go outside and run around for a while or something. So it was just a lot of fun with friends and family. The drummer at the time was my second cousin, so it was great to connect more that way.
All right, just stay on the guitar theme for a second longer. If you had your chance to walk on stage with any of your favorite guitarists, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Are we talking current, living,
alive or dead?
Oh man, that's tricky. Well, I mentioned the Living End earlier. They're a band from Australia.
Okay.
Kind of a similar sound to Green Day, but maybe more technical, maybe a little more rockabilly. And their lead guy is just amazing, both singing and playing guitar. He's phenomenal.
What's his name?
Chris Chaney, I believe. Yeah.
I don't know any of his stuff, so I'll have to...
They had some hits in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they'd gone on tour with Green Day. But they've been continuing to put out music. They're huge in Australia. So they're constantly touring over there, and everybody knows them over there.
I'll have to look him up, or before I leave today, give me some of his music so I can
Yeah,
listen to it on the way
definitely.
home. Now, after I listened to your album, well, while I was listening to it, I I feel the punk in it, but would you say you guys are kind of leaning towards a progressive side of rock a little bit too, or?
Well, as time's gone by, we've gone from more pop punk to, I don't even know how to define it, actually. Some kind of alternative rock. Like, when I tell people who aren't that familiar with the bands that we listen to, I would say it's similar to Foo Fighters, Green Day, Weezer. It's sort of in that
A cluster of all of
big
them. So
genre there.
kind of, it's more your own style than just punk per se.
Yeah. We're not trying to write something that sounds so specific to one genre. We just write whatever it is that comes to our minds and what feels good to us.
So I mean, if you have to classify your band for classification purposes, you're calling it punk, but it's more whatever comes out.
Yeah, lately I've been saying punk / alternative rock.
Okay.
It's hard to define.
What do you say we listen to a song off the album?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody's heard parts of the song Slopes is what I've been using for my intro and outro music for my podcast. Thanks to Mike. And
Well, thanks for putting us out there.
Absolutely.
Happy to promote.
Well, what are we going to hear?
Well, we can listen to some Slopes if you want to.
Let's go with Curses Cast in the Mirror.
Okay. Here's a little bit of Curses Cast in the Mirror.
Very cool tune. One of my favorites, actually, off the album.
Oh, thanks so much.
Totally catchy. Totally hear that song on the radio.
I appreciate that.
Now, unfortunately, the singer was going to join us via phone call, but he is incapacitated at the moment, so we don't get to ask him too much about the lyrics. But Mike, you did write pretty much all the music?
Yeah, for this one I did. Started out with a guitar idea I had years ago and slowly built on it. This one, there's a part towards the end of the bridge where I really wanted to push myself in terms of what I could do technically and to kind of take it to the next level, not just a normal punk song that we'd had in the past. And so there's a part at the end of the bridge just before the last chorus that it's still kind of hard for me to play, but I'm proud of what I've done over there.
I would be proud of it too. It's a great job, great song.
Well, thank you. The drummer did a great job here too. He did a lot of cool fills, and that drum intro that you hear, Stephen Hacker, he's just really good, really, really good guy.
The drum parts are real solid. He's a real solid drummer.
Oh, fantastic. The lyrics on this one, I was telling you a little earlier, it's a kind of a self-reflective song, and it starts out with saying, "You're not as interesting now, you're not good looking." And what we were finding was people were assuming that we were just, being jerks and calling other people these mean things, saying bad stuff. But as the singer was writing this, he was more self-reflective. So we changed the name. It was originally just Curses. We changed it to Curses Cast in the Mirror to make it more obvious that we're not just calling out someone for being ugly and boring or anything like that.
Right.
So now it's Curses Cast in the Mirror to show that we're kind of being jerks to ourselves.
Who are you if you can't make fun of yourself and laugh at yourself, right?
Exactly. So that one we're really happy with how it came out. And we worked in the studio with Marcial Miranda over at a studio in Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles. He was a studio engineer, and he mixed this song along with the first 8 tracks on the album. The studio is called Infinite Spin Records. It's owned by Matt Lanesh, and he's worked with a lot of big artists. He did Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros albums, and so we worked over there. It's been a great experience working with Marcial and Matt, so we're very happy with how that came out.
Are you guys going to do any live shows?
Hopefully, yeah. We're working on that, Deron.
Okay. When?
That's a good question.
It's a pressure question, but I mean,
Yeah.
you guys sound great, so you guys would definitely be a hit live.
Well, thank you. We do miss playing live, so we're going to look at scheduling something and see what we can figure out here.
Good. I hope it's soon. And you are LA based, so it'll probably be some local clubs around LA, but traveling's not out of the question, right?
That's true. We played a lot back in New England before moving to Los Angeles, all over Maine, Massachusetts, various venues, anywhere from a basement show to we played a few colleges, Bates College, University of Maine at Farmington, University of New England, Regis College, a few others as well.
What's your biggest crowd so far? Numbers?
I would say probably we played one time the halftime of a hockey game in Portland, Maine. So there was at least
Cool.
1,000 people there.
Nice. That's a good sized crowd.
Yeah, it was an
Enough
interesting
to
experience.
get the nerves going.
Hopefully we'll play to more and more and get back to those numbers.
That would be awesome. Nothing like playing live, huh?
Right, yeah, it's a thrill.
Let's see. Let's hear another song.
All right.
How about the only instrumental on the album, which is a very cool tune. What is it? I'm the Only One I Miss.
Let's
But
check it out.
Give us a little rundown on the title first.
Well, our previous album had a song called You're the Only One I Miss, and that one was also instrumental. Both of these songs are only about a minute long, and they're both in 3/4 time, and are written sort of as an intro to the song that follows each of them, but they can also work as a standalone piece.
Mm-hmm.
So the song that follows this one is called Old Ghosts, and that is probably the oldest song on the album. But I wrote I'm the Only One I Miss. I started writing it on acoustic guitar one day and then just kind of built it up from there. And it has kind of a creepy vibe. It's sort of a
Creepy is okay
old
sometimes.
waltzy feel to it, and it gets you in the mindset for the song that follows, Old
All
Ghosts.
the old ghosts.
So let's check it out here.
definitely another cool tune. I could totally hear that on the radio, in a movie, something like that.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And you, again, did all the writing on that one.
Well, you're going to give me a big head talking like that.
Well, give credit where credit is due. I know you had a drummer come in and lay down the drum tracks, but you did all the programming.
I did for the first 8 songs on the album. Yeah, I used some MIDI drums, making them sound as realistic as possible.
And not to discount the drummer, because they come in and add their own spice and flair and their own personality to it.
Oh,
so
definitely.
That's what makes it more for the final recording. But
Yeah, the drummer, Stephen Hacker, he did such a great job. He learned the songs in just a couple of days, and he had the whole thing charted out. So when we were in the studio, he just was playing and looking at his notes while playing, so he could play it perfectly through, having just learned these songs. And it was just really impressive. He added a lot too, while at the same time sticking to the basic beats and rhythms that I come up with. On this one in particular, Marcial Miranda, the studio engineer, had the idea in the beginning part of the song to record that marching snare part on 3 or 4 different snares and then mix them together to have more of an ambiance and more reverb. So it feels like a much bigger space, which is definitely a cool idea on his part. So collaborating with other people is always really enriching. It and really just adds a lot.
And it totally helps to work with a really good engineer too.
Oh yeah.
Not just good behind the board, but creative in other aspects as well. So that definitely helps for the overall finished product.
It definitely does. Marcial's great. He's a guitar player as well, and he has a band called High Grass. They're a really good rock band here in LA as well. I actually got to play with them. I filled in on bass guitar when they played at the Viper Room this past summer, so that was fun.
Oh, cool.
It had always been a dream to play there, so I'm glad I got the chance to have fun with them at the Viper Room.
Very cool. So how's the album doing? You guys officially launched it, what, a month and a half ago?
It came out in late November. Available digitally at first on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, CD Baby, and then we got CDs in the mail, and now they're available for sale on this website called CD Baby, and you can go there. You can either buy it digitally or you can buy the actual physical CD and get a copy shipped right to your door.
How's the overall feel for the album? Are you getting any good feedback from people, or?
Yeah, everyone's been very supportive, and it's been great.
Now, I know you've been submitting songs to contests and such, like one in particular, the Mid-Atlantic Song Contest. You submitted the song Slopes.
Yes, that's actually the first one we've heard some official feedback out of at least half a dozen song contests that we've entered in the past couple of months. We got an email just last week saying, "Congratulations, you've been awarded with honorable mention for Slopes in the category of rock and alternative."
Beautiful.
So we're happy about that.
A mention is a mention.
Yeah,
An award is an award.
we'll take it.
The fact that people listen to it is a win in itself.
Yeah, and they have a lot of esteemed songwriters and creative people on their panel of judges, so it's a good way to get your music out there.
Absolutely.
And we're hoping with some of these song contests, just to make some connections and get the music to industry professionals and musicians who otherwise might not have heard it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to hearing back from some more of these contests.
Now, I read in a bio of yours and the band's, and there's mention of near-death experiences that kind of made it into some of the songs and such.
Unfortunately, yes. Well, both the singer Mike.
Well, luckily they're only near
Yeah,
death.
thankfully, the singer and I both were hit by cars while crossing the street at different times, not in the same year, but it's something each of us has dealt with in California. Him in San Diego, me in LA, and so...
Were they bad? I mean, broken
Yeah.
bones?
Yep.
You're walking now, so you recovered, but...
Thankfully, yes. For him, he was crossing the street and a car just suddenly plowed right into him, threw him across the road. He woke up in a hospital and was on crutches for a long time. For me, I was also crossing the road and a car just didn't stop at the stop sign. And so I had shoulder surgery. I was unable to play guitar for 4 months, which really stunk. So that's something that's worked its way into the music a little bit.
You guys both okay now, though?
Yeah, we're pretty much 100% now.
Oh, good. So it wasn't a rotator cuff then, or?
No, mine was a labral tear, so it's soft tissue inside the shoulder. I still feel a little bit here and there if I sleep on it funny. But
How many years ago was this?
Almost 4 now. So it was a long recovery. It took me about a year to heal, but it gave me a lot of time during that recovery period to work on these songs, and with him as well, that sort of going through a major injury, it affects you and kind of works its way into the music. So there's a song that we have called Renegade Destroyer, where he's talking about taking steps towards doing well, and we have another song called Lich, where you're talking about someone with a crutch, and so it makes its way into our music, having these unfortunate circumstances happen. But
well, luckily both of you guys have recovered, and
yes, we're lucky with that. It could have been worse.
Well, let's hear a little bit of Renegade Destroyer then.
Yeah, let's take a listen. This one, it starts out with the chorus as the intro, and then going into the verse, it kind of gets down into more of a minor key, and then we switch back into more upbeat and positive during the choruses, so it has that back and forth kind of feel to it. This is Renegade Destroyer.
Great song off the album, and Mike is really good. Mike in the singer, 2 Mikes, Mike and Mike, a little bit confusing at times.
He goes by Michael now, so
okay.
We can call him Michael.
And how long's he been singing?
Well, probably since junior high, I would say.
He's good.
He's only gotten better over the years. Yeah, we've been very happy with his singing.
Yeah, it'd be great to see you guys live. Hopefully that happens soon.
Well, thank you. I'm working on it.
Now, there's another cool, one of my favorite songs off the album is called Lich. Lich, without the T. There's some really cool guitar parts in there. So I know I've mentioned a few times about how you've been writing most of the music for the songs and such. And you mentioned to me a while ago that you have hopes and dreams of writing music for TV and movies.
That is something I would love to do, yes. There's so much opportunity, especially in Los Angeles, to do music for TV, movies, any kind of media, video games, you name it. There's a huge market for that. It's just a matter of connecting with the right people. So using our music is another outlet for putting ourselves out there to, maybe be on some kind of sync deal with film and TV.
Have you written anything that's ended up in a short film or anything yet? Or
Actually, I did do years ago. I was hired to do some music for this promotional video that a professor at Harvard University had released a book about the AIDS epidemic in Botswana, and they had me write and record some music, African-sounding music, for this promotional video on
Cool.
YouTube. So it's very different from anything else I had done, but
that's out there.
yeah, I studied.
You can do the search for it and find it.
Yeah, studied up on what Botswana's music is like and came up with something that I'm sure they would laugh at, but it made it into the video.
Well, if you have the link for that video on YouTube, send it to me and I'll put it in the show notes. And
Sure thing.
that's a good start. So let me backtrack a little bit. Should have asked you this in the beginning. Did you go to school for music, or are you all self-taught?
I went to school for audio engineering at the New England Institute of Art, just outside of Boston, and got my bachelor's in audio. And my main focus then was to do sound editing or sound design for TV and movies. Still a possible goal here, but it's been very hard to break into in LA.
Well, I think you're kind of on a really good track of writing music, so I mean, it all sounds great.
Well, thanks. At least it's been fun, and it gives me the opportunity to continue using Pro Tools, the audio engineering software. So I love to use Pro Tools and really just kind of keep up with the craft and what I learned in school and expand upon that.
Cool, man. Cool. Anything else you want to add? Like, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, we have our Facebook page is facebook.com/GoCasualMusic. We also have an Instagram account, which is @GoCasualBand. So check us out over there. And we have a SoundCloud account and Spotify.
I'll put all the links for all these things in the show notes, so you guys can all just find it all in one spot and get a hold of Mike however you so choose, and hire him to write some music for you for your YouTube channel or anything. Nothing's out of the question, really.
Nothing's out of the question.
Beautiful. All right, anything else you want to add?
Thank you so much, Deron. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad we could do this.
Absolutely. I'm glad we finally got to do it. And again, everybody check out Mike's new album, All the Old Ghosts. The band is Go Casual. It's really good. It'll be worth checking it out, and enjoy. All right, take us out on a song.
All right.
What is it?
Let's do Old Ghosts.
Well, thank you again for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find the links to the band and the new album in the show notes. And if you enjoyed the show, we would greatly appreciate you sharing and helping to spread the word about the show with anyone you think would enjoy it as well. Please subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts to get new episodes as soon as they come out. Until next time, I'm Deron Wilson. I'll talk to you soon.